Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. We're here with Auntie Tahmeena today. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so blessed to have you the day after Thanksgiving, which I know is a long holiday. So taking time off today and chatting with us is just, such a blessing for me to receive. Alhamdulillah. How are you doing?
Walaikum salam. I am thrilled to be here. My younger sister had told me that I would be speaking on behalf of Rabata, and that was one of my biggest passions of life right now. So I am very excited to be here with you.
MashaAllah. I'm so happy. Alhamdulillah. And, inshallah, we'll chat with Auntie Nasia in a bit, but tell us more about yourself, Auntie Tahmina. Give us, who are you and where are you from?
Okay, so I'm located in New Jersey, Alhamdulillah. I am 55 years old, and I am currently a physician assistant. I was able to, Alhamdulillah, by Allah Ta'ala's grace, be able to get a second degree and get this opportunity to further my education. But there was always something that was always lacking. Growing up in the United States, I was a year old when I came from India. And so I remember growing up, and I remember now looking back, I had always wanted to attend Islamic studies. That was the desire of a little girl that would come to fruition at the age of 55 through Rabata's Institute.
SubhanAllah, that's amazing and incredible that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just opened this door for you at this age, mashallah. So what was your schooling like? Like where did you get your Islamic learning from before this?
Well, if you have to think back, if I'm 55, well, let's start at age, let's say maybe like 45 years ago. We're in New Jersey. Our neighbor, Alhamdulillah, may Allah Ta'ala bless her, she opened her home, which was an apartment, and we had our Sunday classes there. The entire Muslim community, whatever how small it was, would come to her house, and we would have Sunday school there in her little home. There was another place that they offered the basement. So we would go there, we would try to memorize, it was very basic level, but the feeling of, trying to give the children that were here now some sort of Arabic Islamic teaching that was the beginning of it, and in somebody's basement, in somebody's little home that they offered. And throughout the years, nothing really, just reading here and there, nothing formal. But then, Alhamdulillah, Bayna Institute came out. And then Ustad Noman Ali Khan would bring his tafsir. That was just like, oh my goodness, it's English. I can understand it. I do not speak Arabic. Inshallah, that is the goal of one day to be able to read Quranic Arabic and to understand. But to have this opening where we as a Western learner could actually sit down with the Quran and say, oh my goodness, this is what this means. So that was the beginning. And I would say close to probably 15, 20 years of just listening to him and what he brought to the Western learner.
Wow, mashallah. I love that you mentioned the studying at the very beginning, like as a child, because that brought me back to when we were in basements, learning Quran, where we had someone who had memorized Quran, a local Hafizah who would sit with all these kids. But I was 4 or 5 years old. And it was just, that was really traumatizing. Just being in this really tight space filled with all these little kids. And of course, I would just cry my eyes out. And so my family friends, like parents the uncle who would take us, he'd remember, he's like, I would drag you. Like, your mom would just be like, I can't carry her out. She's crying and screaming, kicking and screaming. They'd have to take me because it was just like the culture shock, right? So you go to your school system and then it's, set up a certain way and there's a certain protocol. But, in situations where you have just a whole bunch of kids together, one person who has to manage it, like poor him, may Allah bless him, he tried, right? But that the techniques they used or like just the aggression, sometimes it's just the kids, like they're just too much, like they just get to be intense altogether. Can you imagine like 30, 40 kids in a row? Like, of course you can imagine you had the same experience, subhanallah. But so, mashallah, like that has grown so much. And then I love that you mentioned learning from an English speaker was just, phenomenal. So once that kind of content started coming out, whether I know Yahya Emerick wrote a book. I mentioned it before, but What Islam is All About, or The Complete Idiot's Guide to Islam. Like this was books that were written from an English native speaker. We're just like, wow, it was just this is what I understand. This is the language, and you know the way it was relatable was great because you had an educator who was writing um books about Islam versus like the rough translations and stuff like that, mashallah. So that's why now I appreciate the books that are coming out now. So whenever there's an opportunity to get a book, I'm like, yes, I'll grab it. Like I'll grab, you know, the Sira book that was translated by Ansi Tamra and Ansi Randa and Ansi Sosan, mashallah. It's just it's so different from any other Sira book, right? Because you dive in and you feel like you're flowing along with the Sira with all this beautiful detail, mashallah. So what now at the age of 55, you're at Ribaat, mashallah. What classes have you taken so far?
So it began this January. I began with purification of the heart, and which was a great time with Ansi Maha. We had done it through Ramadan. So that was the beginning. So, and I get very emotional about this. And I was like, I'm 55 years old. I have 2 degrees. There is no reason why I cannot find a way to pursue my Arabic learning. I began with Ansi Abir, who is so dear to my heart, and may Allah Ta'ala bring us together one day. The Arabic
Ameen.
the Arabic course by Rabata was designed for the Western learner. I had tried multiple other courses and I just couldn't get it. I sat in this class, and within 1 or 2 weeks, I said, I can learn Arabic. And I was blown away that I was able to learn, because the entire curriculum, and I know the director, and forgive me for forgetting, I think who was in England, the doctor. She was a Western from educated
Oh,
PhD.
Dr. Anna Maria. Yeah,
Yeah.
mashallah.
And I could see, I was like, oh my goodness, this is for how my brain can learn this as a Western learner. And I was able to pick it up. So alhamdulillah, I was able to complete I began at the beginner's level, 3 of the classes, alhamdulillah, through Ansi Abir. I was able to do that. And then I was now currently I am taking, I guess my 1, 2, 3, 4, my 5th class. I'm taking Tajweed with Ansi Mariam. And I cannot, I was telling my family, we must take this. This is going to give us the way, the technique, the actual skill set of how to pronounce the words, how to see the words. It's not like it's a science, and it has come down. It's not like, oh, you're just like you're sitting in somebody's basement and learning. This is an educator who knows, who's come up with a curriculum and who is teaching, and we are learning. That's the key to this point. And I was, sadly enough, I was signing up for the 2nd level of the Arabic, but there wasn't enough enrollment. So I had to take a pause. So I'm looking forward to January that inshallah they will have the next level available for me. And the reason these classes are so important, because of the timings, because I work full time. My time is when I come home, and on weekends, I am willing to devote every moment to learning, because that is what so-called my time away from work. But this is real life. This is what we want. This is what we want to achieve. And Rabata's curriculum is allowing women like me to go ahead and get educated.
Mashallah, that's so beautiful. I'm so proud of you from January till now. Like just one Arabic module after the other, and you're Tajweed, mashallah. Auntie Mariam was my first Tajweed teacher at Rabata, mashallah. And I remember we were both in Chicago together. So it was just a blessing to be able to see her in person. And she's like, this is how you move your mouth. I was like, oh, I didn't even know these muscles in my mouth existed, right? But like that technique, those things you have to build and exercise, subhanallah. So because your schedule is full, so you have just the evenings and the weekends, then how do you, and you're finding that fulfillment in your studies because you find them so critical. Like, what would you advise to someone who is still struggling to balance their pursuit of Islamic studies and their everyday life?
Number one, make dua. I made dua to Allah Ta'ala. I am going to tell you that's so powerful. I said, Allah Ta'ala, I really want this. if you provide the avenue, I will go into that avenue. I will step into the arena. I will do this. It really, I now I and it's funny because I don't have that other class. I also have a Sunday class that I attend for my mosque where I have it's an Awelian program, and I've been doing it for years. So it runs for a series. So every Sunday I still go there. And I was thinking, now that I don't have this other class that I was really wanting to attend, that time that I had, I want to be busy. I do not want to sit idle. I have the choice now, and I really understand. I please for everyone look at the time and how we're spending it. If we can, if I am, and I'm not a smart person, I'm hardworking. It takes a lot for me to learn, but it's okay. That's the way I was made, alhamdulillah. But I was able to get it because you do have to put in effort. There, you make your dua and you put in the effort and the time management. I'll have to get up at 5 o'clock. I'll study for an hour before going to work. And then I come home. I make sure I have a meal plan prepared. So I'm not wasting time with dinner time. And then I'm going in for my evening courses, studying, whatever it means. And then Saturday and Sunday, of course, we're all doing housework. We're doing the laundry. You got to go get the car fixed. You have to go to get the groceries. But I'm scheduling the time to make sure that I have time for this because I'm 55. I'm closer to my ending than my living years. Alhamdulillah. And Allah Ta'ala has allowed this opportunity for me and through Rabata to actually to pursue this dream. How far I'm going to go, Allah Ta'ala knows, but I'm going to be on this journey.
Inshallah, you'll go very, very far. We're making dua for you to succeed and excel in your dreams, mashallah here. And when the way you were talking reminded me of when I was taking Anse Maha Hamwi's tafsir class, Reflections of the Quran. And she's like, don't spend more than 30 minutes in the kitchen. She's like, if something's taking longer than 30 minutes, she's like, just nix it or figure out how to shorten it because time is of the essence. And, of course, you can make a dhikr while you're cooking and things like that. But she's, if you're really mindfully wanting to be present in the places that you are and study and learn, she's like 30 minutes. And that was just great. I was like, oh, I love that there's, this time frame involved in something that has to get done regularly, right? Like you said, come home, make sure the meal is done and get to what you're finding fulfillment with, subhanallah. And with, you like, mashallah, like, inshallah, Allah will grant you a long life and you'll come back at Ribaat as a teacher and keep giving back. That would be such a blessing for all of us. In your, like, in your community engagement and your balance of, even with balance, like people don't like to call it work-life balance anymore. They're just like work-life fulfillment. So that way, you're leaning into some parts more than other parts. How does your day-to-day structure look like when it comes to, because Arabic is a commitment. So you have your class time, of course, with the modules at Ribaat that were designed for non-native speakers, but with the time that you have to put into the studying and the reviewing and the homework, like it's, more commitment. So where do you find those pockets of time? Is it all just evening and then the weekends?
Well, so in the mornings, I said, you know what? I'm already up. I'm already doing, our salat. So I'm just like, okay, you know what? Add a 30 minutes in the morning, because that's my actually homework time. Because for Tajweed, I have to read 20 minutes every day. So I said, okay, let's do tahajjud, let's do fajr, and then let's read the Quran. 20 minutes, that's all it is. And then whatever extra time I have, even if it's 15, 20 minutes, I will glance at my vocabulary. I will look over my notes. Then you're off to work. And time management, as a physician assistant, if you've gone to the doctor's office, you understand if you're sitting there, you want to see your provider as on time, in a timely manner, and be done because you have other things to do. And I'm on a provider end and I've been a patient. So I understand the time. Like I'm like, how much time am I really spending? And whatever I can't do, respectfully, I will say, I will have to address this issue at another time. But I've given you the attention and what I needed to do to take care of you. But I have to move on. and move to the next thing and move to the, I have 8 hours. I have a full schedule of seeing patients. So time management became even more critical to me. I'm like, I have to respect people's time, my patients, my time. And then when you come home, I'm looking, okay, here it is. What time am I in? What am I doing? And I have to go into, and, I do have my downtime. There are things where I don't want, 30, 40 minutes that I just don't want to do anything. So I structure it that way. I'm literally knowing what I'm doing throughout the whole day. I'm riding to work and I'm not able to do all my tasbih. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Just take it in your hand while you're driving and do it. And I'm driving for 30, 40 minutes. I'm able to do my tasbih for the day. So I'm using the time because it's Allah Ta'ala has gifted us with time. It's not that you don't have time. It's what are you going to do with the time that's been given to you? Choose. And I choose. I choose this over this. And I have friends. I have beautiful friends. I love my mosque that I go to every Friday evening. I'm trying to attend. But it's like the choice. We all have the choice. And as women, and I understand, we are, alhamdulillah, Allah Ta'ala has designed us in a very unique way where we can do so many things and be very successful in all of them. And sometimes you don't need to do all of those things, and it's okay too.
I love that, mashallah. I feel like I'm just sitting with like a halakha now that I'm taking notes from too, mashallah, mashallah, Allah bless you. So before we, end the conversation, I know because you said you're also like a physician's assistant. So in terms of like the adult Muslim woman who's pursuing her learning, like I know 35-year-olds who are just like, I'm just too tired. I just, like I'm too fatigued, I'm too whatever. And of course, now Auntie Tamara is like, well, how is your iron level? Did you get your blood work done? Did you, she's like, fix your health. What do you feel optimizes your health? Because at the age of 55, like you've got a full schedule, you've got this packed weekend, packed evenings, you're studying now full time, mashallah. Like what can you do to optimize your health? Like what would you advise in general? Just, how do we make the adult Muslim woman learner healthier so that she can come to her studies better?
Sure. That's a great question. And I have non-Muslim people ask me all the time, what can I do, especially in this season of being, with so many viruses and sicknesses. So health is extremely important. Allah Ta'ala wants us to be healthy. So again, it comes back to a choice. It is going to be a good schedule of sleeping 7 to 8 hours or less is okay, but good continuous sleep. So your bed should be for sleep. It's not for screen time. And I tell this to my young patients. I tell the adult, I'm not sleeping well. I'm like, well, do you have screen time on? If you want to, take a book and have a book, a soothing book, something. Go to bed with that 30 minutes, lights out, no screens in the bedroom for all of us, myself included. The other thing so important is nutrition. Nutrition, the food that we are eating must be of benefit. It has to be a very, I caution people with sugar and salt intake. Look at the sugar intake that you are taking. Just look at it and eat less and drink more water. I'm going to be very honest. People say, well, how can I lose weight? Because that's the biggest thing. I'm like, literally, I say, you have to eat less. You have to eat less sugar and salt. And think about mindful eating. What are you eating? We just had Thanksgiving and we had beautiful, may Allah Ta'ala bless the entire world with good food and healthy nutrition food. But in the US, we were able to eat good food, healthy food, and enjoy the day, I say. But then on a regular basis, I would be careful with the carbohydrates and the gluten that we are eating and the sugar and processed foods. Watch that and reduce the amount that we're eating. We don't need to overeat. We have enough storage. Alhamdulillah, Allah Ta'ala has designed us to have, very good storage and drink water. And also be very mindful of who you are letting in your personal circle. That is going to be very important. You want yourself to be around good people and people to benefit you of also. It's a two-way street. As a provider, I always tell my patients, I'm on your team. you're the one that's leading me. I'm here to provide you with everything. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I wouldn't want somebody to tell me what to do, but I can recommend. And just be kind to ourselves, speak kindly to ourselves, have the nice words to ourselves, and know that Allah Ta'ala has not forsaken us, especially in our most difficult times. He is there and He will help us to overcome everything and anything in His way, not our way.
MashaAllah, that's beautiful. Thank you. I love it. I'm literally going to just go and, reframe the way my bedroom is used. Yeah, like you said, just eat less. And when we're doing more, we just automatically eat less, right? We just don't have that time to consume when we're busy doing things. MashaAllah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and grant you so much barakah and success in all of your studies. MashaAllah. I'm so happy you were able to hop on with me today. Hamza, it was such a blessing and the conversation. I wish I could just, keep talking. I feel that this is so, I mean, I feel so blessed because I get to, have these beautiful moments with you, mashallah. And inshallah, we'll meet in person someday soon. I was in Jersey for just a very brief time earlier this year, but inshallah, next time I come back, I'll reach out. And if you're ever in Houston, please let me know.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, I'd love to see you in person and your family, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, and lots of love to your family.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.